Those bags were about as big as her, weren't they? Next tonight, the first of two exclusive Anglia reports about the Essex men serving 3 years in prison in Cyprus for manslaughter of 17-year-old Christos Papyrus.
Cousins Michael Binnington and Luke Atkinson were originally acquitted of the crime, but later found guilty on appeal and extradited amid emotional scenes last month.
Well, our reporter Lorna Ramsey has been to Cyprus to see what life is like there for the men and to hear about their latest legal battle to try to serve the rest of their time back here in the UK.
Even in January, the sun shines in Cyprus. It's why thousands of British holidaymakers escape here every year. But for two men from Essex, this island is their prison. Since Michael Binnington from Great Totham and Luke Atkinson from Witham were extradited last month, they've been living behind these walls of the central prison in Nicosia. I travelled to Cyprus to interview them, to find out about their time in a foreign jail and their efforts to return to this country. This all started in August 2006, when Atkinson and Binnington travelled from Essex to Cyprus for a family holiday. But on the first night, their holiday turned to tragedy in the beach resort of Protaras. They were passengers in a car which crashed into a moped, killing 17-year-old Christos Papyri and seriously injuring his friend Mario Demetriou. The driver of the car, their uncle Julian Harrington, admitted manslaughter and is currently serving a 15-year sentence. The two cousins were originally acquitted but were convicted on appeal in their absence. In November, they told me they feel for the victims' families, but don't feel to blame for what happened. Do you feel any sense of responsibility or remorse over the death of Christos Papyrus?
Obviously, we feel very bad. Feel bad for the Papyrus family and the boy. Responsibility is not the right word. We don't feel responsible for what happened. We feel, obviously, if you read it in the news, any time you hear anything like that, you feel bad for the family. We wouldn't wish it on anyone, but we don't feel responsible.
One of the men's strongest supporters is their Euro MP, Richard Howitt.
I'm working with the Home Office and the Ministry of Justice to get them back to Britain to at least be able to serve the remainder of their sentences in Britain, close to their families, but they shouldn't have to have spent one day in jail in what I believe is a miscarriage of justice.
The Ministry of Justice here in Cyprus has turned down our request for an interview, but they did release a statement saying that the relevant government minister is currently considering the cousins' application to serve the rest of their sentence in the UK. They say the British authorities will be informed once he makes that decision. I visited the Attorney General's office to speak to the prosecutor of their trial. How can two men who were passengers be held responsible for their driver's actions?
Now, the law in Cyprus, but also in the UK, says that if it can be shown that you are taking part in an unlawful action, even though you are not the one doing it, then you can also be held responsible.
And that law has left the men here for the time being, serving their time alongside 750 other inmates. We're not allowed to film inside the prison, but I have been given permission to visit the cousins. I'm going to go and see how they are. They spent the first 9 days in solitary confinement because the prison is so overcrowded here. But since then, they say that their time here has been okay. The facilities are good and they haven't faced any antagonism from any other prisoners. But they're very keen to get back to Britain and serve the remainder of their sentence there. And they want to thank everyone at home who's trying to make that happen. Prisoners' transfer applications normally take 6 months to process. So for Binnington and Atkinson, each night passing in Cyprus signals a step closer to getting back to Britain. Lorna Ramsey, Anglia News, Nicosia.
Well, Lorna's visit to Cyprus concludes on tomorrow night's programme when she meets the parents of 17-year-old Christos Papyrus. They took her to their son's grave and told Lorna that they'd never get over the heartache of losing their son just as he was becoming a man.
We've lost Christo, my husband says. The whole world went dead. And This is how our life is now. It's black.
That's on tomorrow's programme. An elderly Northampton couple found dead in their freezing home had died within hours of each other. It's been reported today. 79-year-old Jean Randall and her 76-year-old husband Derek were found dead on the 2nd of January, having not been seen for several days. Their neighbours had urged the authorities to intervene. It's been reported today that a post-mortem examination found Mrs. Randall died from cancer, while her husband and sole carer suffered a heart attack.
Now, the effects of the recession have been felt right across our region, but now a new report suggests that Milton Keynes and Cambridge are two of the most likely places in the UK to bounce back.
An independent think tank puts it down to them having the right ingredients, which includes strong private sectors and highly educated workforces. Neil Bradford reports.
Much maligned, there is more to Milton Keynes than concrete and roundabouts. Hidden off the grid roads and tree-lined boulevards are the headquarters of dozens of multinationals. On the many identikit industrial estates, hundreds of innovative and entrepreneurial businesses. Businesses like Traka, the bespoke security technology firm, grew by 24% last year. It's now a £6 million a year business, employing 60 staff. Clients include police forces, the prison service and supermarket giants. 2 years ago, it established a presence in the US. Chairman John Kent is in no doubt that the location of his headquarters has been a big part of the company's success.
We're a modern business and we're in a modern environment, if you like, in a modern community. And Milton Keynes gives us access to a very, very good labour force, if you like. There's some very good people around here, well-educated people, and they certainly help with our product development.
According to today's report by the think tank Centre for Cities, the mix of strong private sectors, new businesses and highly educated workers means Milton Keynes, along with Cambridge, is well placed to succeed after the recession. Both places had the lowest unemployment levels in the country.
Unemployment has risen less sharply in Cambridge than anywhere else. It's a low unemployment economy and a very high skilled economy as well.
In Milton Keynes, business leaders believe diversity is the key to their success.
Why has Milton Keynes been so good at weathering the recession?
With over 26 sectors of industries in Milton Keynes, it provides a balance in the economy. So the size and the scale and the breadth of the supply chain, as one does less well, so another one is picking up. That agility within the marketplace provides a great advantage for Milton Keynes businesses.
Across the region, it will be an uneven road to recovery. It seems some of our towns and cities already have a head start. Neil Bradford, Anglia News, Milton Keynes.
Well, stay with us here on Monday's Anglia Tonight.
All the news and sport from your part of the region.
A man from Suffolk has been listed among the country's top 10 most wanted doorstep criminals. Patrick Gilmehy, who's thought to be between 20 and 25, is wanted in connection with a string of burglaries between September 2008 and February last year. Many of his alleged crimes took place in Suffolk, Norfolk and Bedfordshire.
Plans to dramatically increase the number of police officers on the beat in Essex have been put on hold. The plan revealed in 2008 was to increase the number of frontline officers in the county by 600 over 5 years. But the current economic climate means plans have now been put back by 18 months.
The Lighthouse at Orford Ness in Suffolk may be turned off for good under new money-saving proposals. Trinity House, the body responsible for keeping ships safe around the coast, says modern navigation equipment has made a lighthouse redundant.
Now, talent shows have made plenty of